Demon Slayer is, without a doubt, easily the most popular anime in the entire world as of right now, and also easily the most talked about. And with the Infinity Castle movie now becoming the highest grossing anime movie of all time, it's only getting more popular. And as the series grows, so too have the games. Hinokami, Yaiba, Demon Hunter, Demon Bane. These games are quickly becoming the face of what Demon Slayer is on the Roblox platform. And whether they're renowned for having beautiful graphics, memorable gameplay, or just straight up accuracy to the show, each and every one of these games has captured the heart of at least one person who, at their core, just loves Demon Slayer. And now, believe it or not, some of these games are actually even trying to break the mold, to rewrite the very definition of what it means to be a Demon Slayer game on Roblox. These games are trying to make a change and create an experience that won't be forgotten, like so many other Demon Slayer games. Hinokami is the first Demon Slayer game I've seen to have such an intense focus on bringing in unique mechanics and features from other games, like some of the almost obviously Elden Ring inspired movesets, or even the Sekiro-like eavesdropping mechanic, which allows you to actually alter your own character's story and progression, depending on the conversations that you've overheard. Yaiba is hands down the most fluid Demon Slayer combat I've ever witnessed, with Roblox anime superstars like SLAYER being developers on the project. The same guy who created Anime Showdown, by the way, which was nothing if not known for its graphics and fluidity. Demon Hunter is easily the most realistic Roblox Demon Slayer game I've ever played, and in my opinion, also the most unique. And the first game I've seen on Roblox in years to actually feel like Demon Slayer. Demons could regenerate limbs in this game, which seems fairly obvious, but is a feature that many, if not most of all Demon Slayer games lack, and breathing styles could be created and optimized on the go. So if you were bored of using one style or technique, then you could just create your own. And Demon Bane, although a newcomer to the community, also had its own fair share of gorgeous aesthetics and unique mechanics. Believe it or not, a Demon Slayer game on Roblox doesn't just consist of which one has the best breathing styles, or even blood demon arts. While that stuff is cool and also incredibly important, what really matters is soul. Old school games like Wisteria brought in unique ideas and feelings and basically threw it all onto a blank canvas and turned it into a fun experience to try, allowing people to actually want to play the game, letting Slayers actually train to unlock their breathing techniques in a grindy, yes, but cool way, forcing them to go through traps like logs and pitfalls, push boulders, and battle against their trainers. If that sounds familiar, well, you might be onto something, because this really isn't new. Most, if not all, Demon Slayer games do exactly what I just said in that same gameplay loop, but when they do it, as opposed to a game like Wisteria, for example, it lacks soul. The thing is, a game's soul, or amount of care put into it, isn't exactly a metric that you can measure the same way you can its graphics, or even its combat, for example. When it comes to passion, that's just something that you have to feel out for yourself, and there's just no way around that. I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. Demon Slayer is a gorgeous, vibrant, colorful world filled with all kinds of different breathing techniques, blood demon arts, beautiful landscapes, heated battles, and more. Now, open your eyes and look at this. Does this look anything like the picture I just painted? And before you comment, this isn't me hating. I genuinely have nothing against games like these. But let's be honest, they're not Demon Slayer. Roblox is $1 billion corporation. But more than that, it's an engine, a system that allows people like you and me to create insane interpretations of our own passion like these. And with an engine like this, the only limits that we really have are our own imagination. Which just means that if this is where we're stuck right now, it's not because we can't go beyond it, but rather it's because we can't see anything past it. What's limited right now is not our potential, it's our vision. And that's where games like Hinokami and Demon Hunter come. Hinokami, Demon Hunter, and yes, Yaiba are all new upcoming Demon Slayer games. In Demon Hunter, unlike most other Demon Slayer games, the world itself is treated differently. It's given respect. It has life. It's a game that's created with the intention of actually adapting the source material and doing it in a way that's genuinely faithful. The game lets you explore through a series of different maps tailored to the series itself, such as obviously the Slayer headquarters, the entertainment district, as well as other areas that just look like they were literally ripped straight out of 20th century Japan. And just looking at the map, you can tell that this was a game made with love, because each place feels like it has an actual purpose given to it, not just a new area to go and beat more bandits. For example, one of my favorite locations in this game was this snow area behind the Slayer headquarters, and in order to get here, you had to move this boulder and walk through this path, which would take you here. And this area really wasn't even that crazy. Its sole purpose in this game was pretty much just to serve as an area to forge or upgrade your Nichiren katana, but regardless, it still stood out to me, even enough for me to remember it months later. and that means something. If you ask me to remember a single place from most other Demon Slayer games, I honestly probably couldn't do it. Hinokami is the first Demon Slayer game I've seen to actually attempt to go deeper into what Demon Slayer is, adding little things into the game, like one of Hantengu's fish demons as a fightable mini-boss. And it's even the first Demon Slayer game I've seen to actually introduce subclasses, like how in the anime, Tengen was a ninja who then became a Demon Slayer, but still retained his ninja abilities. Yeah, in this game, you can actually do that. There are subclasses, and I'm not gonna lie, that makes sense. Maybe something like Genya's shotgun could be a subclass. I don't know, it's just an idea. And did I mention that this is the first Roblox Demon Slayer game I've seen to have a genuine story mode with actual voice acting? These things might seem like small details to you guys, but it's the small, almost insignificant parts of games, in my opinion, that really come together to enhance a game's overall uniqueness. And when it comes to combat, each of these games shine for a different reason. Yaiba easily has some of the cleanest looking combat I've ever seen, and not even just for a Demon Slayer game, I mean in general. And this genuinely looks like something you could have fun with. Demon Hunter is easily the most realistic Roblox Demon Slayer combat I've ever played, with you being able to actually cut off demon limbs as a Slayer and regrow them as a demon. And this system was so intricate and well made because you could actually create your own breathing techniques to target specific limbs on an enemy demon's body, like their arms, legs, or hell, even their head or neck, I guess. I don't know. And this system just came together to create such a unique experience where, like I said, the genuine care and passion for the game could be seen even just through its combat. And Hinokami, like I said, is one of the first Demon Slayer games I've seen to actually take inspiration from outside of the series itself, with the game having some very clearly Elden Ring inspired moves like this Millennium waterfall dance, or even more typical mechanics like flashing. But moving outside of just the biggest games, there are also plenty of other games that are trying to push the boundaries of what being a Roblox Demon Slayer game means, even if just in a small way. For example, there's Mugen, which is a new Roblox Demon Slayer game made by Crollo, the same person who created games like Blue Lock Rivals, Basketball Zero, and more. Now when this game first came out, pretty much everyone thought that it was going to be the greatest Demon Slayer game ever made, purely due to how fast-paced and intense its combat looked. Project Slayers was arguably one of the most popular Roblox Demon Slayer games of all time, now sitting at 650 million visits, and that's for a game with barely any real updates. Now that game is getting a sequel, Project Slayers 2, which once again seems like it's going to be a mostly combat Demon Slayer game with a huge focus on aesthetics. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that either of these two games are going to change the platform or redefine what it means to make a Demon Slayer game on Roblox. However, I am saying that yes, even games like these, in their own small ways, do bit by bit change how Demon Slayer games are made. And if we're talking about the future generation of Roblox Demon Slayer games, I can name all kinds of experiences that you probably haven't even seen yet. New Moon, which is a new project that just came out and immediately began getting talked about like crazy, and I won't lie, this is a clean cinematic. Slayer's Retribution, another Demon Slayer game that's been around for a decent amount of time, and yet is still a relatively new project, with this game again seeming to be trying its hardest to create its own unique interpretation on Demon Slayer. And yet, all of these games just don't have the same spark that a game like, say, Demon Journey had when it first came out. Now, I don't know when you watching right now first started playing Roblox, but man, back in the day, and I guess I'm Monk now, we used to get so many good Roblox Demon Slayer games that some of which still hold up to this day. Demon Journey, Onikiri, which I'm sure a lot of you watching don't even have any clue what this is, Wisteria, Demon Slayer RPG 1 and 2, both bangers at least for their time, and finally Demonfall, which is still alive to this day, and this game came out years ago. These are the games that made up my childhood when it came to Demon Slayer, and with the series coming out as I was just starting high school, watching it and then going home to play these games was legendary. It was just such a good experience back then, seeing people watch a new series like Demon Slayer for the first time and then try their best to genuinely create something new and unique. Now it basically just seems like people have realized that they can make insane amounts of money just by making a Demon Slayer game, and because of this, the passion has almost been completely removed. And before you even make the comment, yes, I know most if not all of the games that I just mentioned more than likely would not hold up today. Actually, I can't even say that, because no offense, games like Fire Force Online can average 40,000 players concurrently, and a lot of the games I just brought up are just as good if not better than that game. So I don't know, but while a lot of those games are old and some of those ideas might not do as well today, for their time, each and every one of those games were genuinely trying to do something different, and you could really feel it through the gameplay. Demonfall was the first Demon Slayer game I'd ever played in my entire time on the platform, feature you as the player going through an actual story mode, and that was such a unique experience despite being somewhat simple, to where I can still remember it vividly all these years later. And again, that means something. Old school games like Demon Journey or Onikiri or hell, even Wisteria, or forced you as the player to go out and find your individual trainer or whatever breathing style you wanted to learn. And although yes, most if not all Demon Slayer games still do this to this day, it's just not the same. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it just feels kind of corporate, soulless, something else for people to do so that the games can farm premium payouts off of it. Back then, it felt colorful, vibrant, unique. The mystery is gone. And you know what? Maybe that's just something that fades with time. But I don't think so. Old games are always going to be, well, old, and you can't change that. Ideas you played in the past usually won't hold the same nuance that they do in the moment, and that's just the truth. Games that are out right now might not satisfy you, but at the same time, that's what we have. And although it will change, again, in the moment, that's what's there. And games that will be out in the future, the next generation, hold the promise of that spark, that creativity and passion that only comes from working on something that you genuinely have love, not just something that you only see as a paycheck. Like so many of the other games that we see on a daily basis on this platform. There's just more to be done, more to be created, and more to be played by us, which I'm sure we'll see soon. And speaking of more, when it comes to the different breathing techniques, each of these games do that differently as well. Yaiba, without a doubt, has the cleanest looking water breathing I've ever seen, with, as much as I hate to say this, the moves looking like they actually flow like water. I know, it's cringe, whatever. And this is no doubt due to Slykage, the creator of the game, creating some incredible visual effects. Lightning and flame breathing both look amazing as well, with this game's flame breathing easily being my favorite interpretation on the style. I mean, it just looks good, like some of Rengoku's techniques actually being faithfully adapted into the game. You know, and you might think that every Demon Slayer game just does this, but believe me, they don't. Not all of them do, trust me. Demon Hunter, while not having the best graphics in the world, very easily has my favorite breathing style system, because like I said, it allows you, the player, to both create and name your own techniques for some super niche breathing styles too, that most games usually don't even bother to include. Like flower breathing. My favorite breathing in this game though, without a doubt, had to be sound breathing, and that was just because it was so damn fun to PvP with. I actually felt like Tengen. And on that note, PvP with breathing techniques in this game felt so damn good, like you were an actual demon slayer in the anime itself battling against demons. It's one of those feelings that I honestly can't even properly describe. You would just have to play the game yourself. Hinokami, again, just like Yaiba, is a clear favorite when it comes to graphics. I mean, just looking at some of these breathing styles, you can clearly see the talent and effort that went into ensuring that this game looked good. But it's not just all about the breathing style, because a lot of people care just as much, if not more, about the actual blood demon arts too. Hinokami is one of the few games that when I saw some of their blood demon arts, I was genuinely taken aback, because stuff like this, even if it's obviously taking some inspiration from other material, like Naruto with Kimimaro's Bone Kekkei Genkai here, for example, is genuinely unique, and I love that. Yaiba, on the other hand, is the absolute winner here when it comes to blood demon art, really because of how gorgeous this string blood demon art looks. And what's important to recognize here is how this game has very clearly managed to transform what's basically a side character's abilities from the first season of the show into an actual threatening, gorgeous looking skill. Not every game can do that, and certainly not every game will take the time to do that. My point here is, if they're doing stuff like this for Rui, just imagine how good something like Akaza's compass needle is gonna look in this game, or Doma's ice blood demon art, or Gyuteru's blood demon art. Blood demon art, yo, say that 10 times. And in terms of uniqueness, in my honest opinion, Demon Hunter easily won with the most unique blood demon arts I've ever seen on Roblox, adding in stuff like Hantengu's clone blood demon art, which I'm sure other games might have done before, but I haven't seen any personally, as well as whatever the hell Gyoko's fish blood demon art is supposed to be, because that's in the game too, or even this fan guy, which I guess is Hantengu. But yeah, this is a blood demon art that was actually in the game. It was actually a pretty cool one too. The level of detail and accuracy with this game was nuts. Again, like I just said about Hinokami, this game transforms blood demon arts that I might just gloss over if I was just watching the show normally into extremely well-made masterpieces that fit wonderfully inside of the game, and that you just have to respect. Okay, that might be a little too much glaze, but it is really good. And there's just so much more that can be made into a reality if a Demon Slayer game actually chose to try, like adding in Hantengu's electricity abilities, or even his wood dragon, or even the see-through world, which was such a huge part of the show that many games just straight up ignored. But when it comes down to the simple details, the things that nobody wants to, or maybe are too scared to try, that's when you start to see what the real Demon Slayer games are. In Hinokami, you can literally go insane, and even though that might not be a notable part of Demon Slayer, or maybe a part at all, it's still a cool aspect of development and something else to do, I guess. In Demon Hunter, your crows will alert you whenever something is going on, and also cue you into missions with other slayers if you bring your crow near theirs. In Dimensional Infinity Fortress, which is a new one, you can actually fight and move throughout an actual infinity castle, which again is just something that's cool to have in game. And I'm not saying that these are the greatest Demon Slayer games ever made, purely because they do these simple little things. I'm just saying that they did, when a lot of others just straight up refused to. Effort like that you just gotta respect. Accuracy to the show, at least in my opinion, is so important when it comes to making a good Demon Slayer game. And even if it might seem obvious, concepts that were integral in the show, like the see-through world, are a lot of the time just straight up ignored in so many Demon Slayer games. It's like nobody cares about accuracy. I just don't get it. Replayability is also important, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels like that's become a lost art. Not even just for anime games in general, but especially for Demon Slayer ones. It really feels like people have no actual way to make a Demon Slayer game outside of just throwing in some bandits and then making people find their trainers. And a perfect example of this, as much as I hate to say it, would be Wisteria 2, which all things considered was actually a pretty decent game that only failed due to having too much repetitiveness in its gameplay loop, and as such, not enough replayability. At the end of the day, there is no quote-unquote perfect Roblox Demon Slayer game. But if there was, how would you make it? If I had to make the perfect Roblox Demon Slayer game, the first thing that I would do is, even though it sounds simple, make sure that it's actually Demon Slayer. Whether this just means including techniques and blood demon arts that were actually shown in the show, or trying my best to have a diverse map that highlights the beauty of the different areas shown throughout the series, or even just trying to make the combat as accurate as possible. With my game, I just want to make it real, and as real as possible, if that makes sense. I'd want Yaiba's graphics, Demon Hunter's gameplay and ideas, combined with some of Hinokami's unique mechanics. I'd want the type of game where I genuinely wanted to play, where logging in felt like something I could do to have fun, or blow off some steam, not something that feels like a chore to play, or something that I'd have to play purely because there is nothing else to play. Arguably, the most important thing when it comes to Demon Slayer games is the goal behind it. What's the reason for making the game? Do you just want a simple cash grab? A quick, I don't know, Battlegrounds game you can have some fun in for a bit and then hop off? An RPG like, I don't know, Project Slayers? Or are you looking to make something groundbreaking? Something that's genuinely going to change not just the Demon Slayer scene in Roblox, but the platform itself as a whole. And no, I'm not saying that every game needs to do that, but if just one could, it'd be nice. But the most important thing that I think people forget is the feeling. When you play an anime game, or at least when I play one, the most important thing is that you feel like you're playing the anime the game is based on. It's the same reason why you feel like Levi Ackerman every time you're spinning around in an Attack on Titan game. This is something that should be the #1 rule for every game that's made, and not just Demon Slayer games. And yet every game is forgotten. And that's why I love games like Demon Hunter so much, because when I'm fighting in that game, especially alongside a friend who's either weaker or stronger than me, it really has me feeling just like Tengen or Tanjiro. And even though that might sound good, that's what's so important in games. If you don't genuinely feel like you're in the world that the game is based on, well, then are you even playing a Demon Slayer game in the first place? Or is it just another generic anime clone with a different anime pasted on it? The repetitiveness of the old generation, the stagnancy of the present, and the promise of the future. All of these things come together to form the hopes that we have for Demon Slayer content on Roblox. And I honestly believe that games like Hinokami, Yaiba, and Demon Hunter will pull through in order to be that difference that we're looking for. And I know that the perfect Demon Slayer game that we're all looking for will be here, even if soon. And right now, I am actually making a game of my own. And even though it's not Demon Slayer, all of the passion and ideas that I talked about with you guys in this video will be going into my game. So if you'd like to support it, the Discord server will be linked down below, and I'd really appreciate it if you join. And with that being said, I can't wait to play the perfect Roblox Demon Slayer game. Maybe this video inspired you to be that change.